I'm eating lunch, breakfast for lunch, eggs and potatoes, and some ketchup. I went and talked to some friends, and they are gonna let me do a couple van tours. They both have vans, very different on the inside. One has a Dodge ProMaster and the other one has a Nissan. So I'm gonna go do a little interview with them and see how they do their setup. Okay, hi there, Radar.
Hi Karli.
So we're gonna do a tour of your van.
Yes,
What kind of van do you have?
I have a Ram ProMaster. It's a 2500 and it's a 2014. And it was originally a plumber's truck. And so I picked it up off of that guy and tore out all the ugly plywood shelving that was in it.
Nice.
And then went to town and did a conversion on it.
Okay. Did you do the conversion yourself?
I did. I did the interior.
Nice.
And then my son, who's very capable, helped me with the solar on top.
Cool.
And helped me to hook up all the electrical inside, because he does that on boats and stuff. So I felt like I was in really good hands with that, and I was grateful for that.
Cool.
And every time I thought I'd give up because it felt like it was too overwhelming of a job, my smart son would say, "Mom, you can make a lot of mistakes and buy a lot of plywood for $80 an hour." So instead of paying somebody, I just kept at it and did what I could. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, it looks great. Let's go inside and check it out.
So we've got lights that we put in. So I have lights over my bed that are separate from the lights in the cabin area. Okay.
What was that you just pushed up?
Oh, so because of the rack that was on top of the van when I bought it, and it's got a catwalk down it, and it's what my solar is mounted to, there was, and then when you took into account the ribbing that was in the ceiling, there was no space to put like a Max Air or the regular vents that everybody uses. So I was like, oh, what am I going to do? So I spent my first 6 months without any kind of ventilation. And, you know, I got away with it because I can move a lot. But in the end, I went back and I got one of these little, they're like a 6-inch exhaust fan. So it's got a 12 volt. So it sucks air out.
Nice.
And so that heat, that hot air that rises, you know, has some place to go. And then I just use that little fan there that I, you know, to move air around. And I can open up the back doors or whatever. But it's been a huge help, you know, and it keeps things good enough. And when it's not, I go down the road to someplace cooler.
Yes.
So.
And does that, so you just plug it up for heat, and like if you get cold at night, you pull that down?
Yeah, so it's just a little pop up and pop down.
Okay.
So
cool.
air can go out or.
Nice.
Yeah, so that's worked out pretty well.
Cool. So you're electrical with the lights, and then what else do you have power to in
And
here?
the only other thing that I'm powering is, of course, you know, a phone, my laptop, and my iPad. And then I've got the ARB 50-quart refrigerator that I use.
Okay, and that's
what
this.
this is.
Nice. Do you like this?
I do like it, and I got, you know, you have the option between a couple of sizes, but the 50-quart had the same footprint as the 37-quart, so I went ahead and got the 50, and it runs on really low wattage.
Okay.
So they're made for this kind of thing. I have 580 watts of solar up there, a 2,000 watt inverter, and 2 deep cycle AGM batteries, 120 amp hours each, but it's done in series. So, but I've never had any problem. I've never been without power. And,
Nice.
I've been on the road for a little over a year and a half.
Awesome.
Or, sorry, just a little over a year.
Little year. Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
So.
And what got you on the road?
Just thought it would be more fun than sitting in a condo.
It is.
You know, everybody starts watching the videos. I started watching the little tiny house videos, and was just amazed by these little tiny houses that people made. But I wasn't thinking I was going to do anything. I just like building projects and stuff, and I was living in a condo, so I wasn't getting to do those things anymore. and I'd come off of 10 acres where I was always doing projects. So I got watching those, and that linked me to a van build, and I thought, oh my God, look at what people do to vans, you know? And then I was like, oh my God, people really live that way.
Yes.
So then I was thinking, okay, is it just the van, is it just the project that's exciting you?
Yeah.
You know, or is it really the possibility of doing that lifestyle? So I had to sort through that. So I contemplated all of this and watched these videos for like 1.5 years, 2 years. And then I was always talking to my aunt about it, 'cause she's like my best friend. So so I called her one day, and I was bantering on about it again, and she just said, shit or get off the pot.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I was like, okay, I'm gonna go buy a van, and I'm gonna convert it, and I'm gonna go live on the road. So I just kind of took that leap of faith and went all in. I sold everything I own. I do not have a house. Everything I own is in this van, or I have 6, you know, like bins at my daughter's garage. Otherwise, nothing.
That's it.
Because I figured, you know, you just go for it. If you don't like it, you can change it, but go for it.
Yeah.
So I did.
That's awesome. And it's great that your son helped you.
Yep.
Got a handyman in the family.
Huge resource. Huge resource.
Well, neat. So the flooring is, I love the flooring.
Thank you.
It's very
Thank
similar
you.
to
That's-
mine.
Yeah, just the snap, and I put, there's like two layers of insulation on the floor. So I've got one layer of recycled denim,
Okay.
and then I've got the polyiso,
Okay.
which is more the foam stuff.
Okay.
And then I've got the underlayment for the flooring, and then and then I've got plywood. So I've got 3 layers. So plywood, and then the little thin underlayment for the flooring, and then the flooring.
Nice.
Yeah, but it's amazing how floors still get cold.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you want to put rugs down and stuff.
Nice.
Just no way around it.
This is awesome.
So,
And your cubby system is really neat.
yeah, you know, these were things I had in my condo, so I cut them because they usually come 3 up and 3 wide. And so I just cut this one to be tall, and this one to be part of my bed support structure.
Okay,
And,
so your bed's sitting on that.
It's sitting on part of it. Yep. And then there's 2 cupboards underneath also where I have all my batteries,
Okay.
electrical stuff on that side, and then just storage on this side. So, and then I have these boxes cover the wheel wells,
Okay.
because in the Ram ProMaster, they're the lowest vehicle to the ground.
Oh.
But in doing that, you also sacrifice, because the wheel wells come up higher into the interior space.
Oh.
So, but anyway, so these are the wheel wells that cover that. But it provides a shelf, and then, you know, the way I configured it, and then some storage for like my ukulele. And so that's on both sides.
Nice.
And so it's just little places to put things. Yeah.
And so, what's this? I see a little design on this.
Oh, this?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, it was, you know, you're always looking at, like, how can I remodel or how can I improve my little house? So I had just picked up a piece of edging at Home Depot
So you applied this.
and stained it, and then, yeah,
Oh, that's
glued it to
cute.
that. Just to give it a little finished look, you know.
For your platform, for
Some
your
of this stuff,
bed.
it's kind of hard to finish. So when I was putting it all together and I put the walls up, and I didn't know how I was supposed to cover the angles here,
Yeah.
you know, and I wasn't doing upper cabinets. I didn't have anything up here, not the baskets or anything. But I was on a time frame, and it was just like, you know, get it to where you can get it, and then get out of there, because the weather was getting really cold up in Washington State. But in the end, I ended up being kind of glad, because on the road, I picked up all these baskets and these hooks, and I'd like to get some like pretty hooks or something maybe. But in the meantime, I was able to sort of create some upper cabinets, which I didn't have. So I was like, oh, I'm glad I didn't cover.
Yeah, no, this is a great
Cover it.
idea with the S hooks and then the
Yeah.
baskets.
So,
And when you drive, does it shake a lot?
no, they actually don't. I think because of the angle and the fact that there's weight in them.
Oh, so they don't have a lot of give. There's not a lot of room to
No,
move.
they don't do this much at all, and they don't do this at all.
Okay.
So they've been really kind of an inexpensive, quick fix to having a little extra storage.
Yeah.
And then on this side, I use the same thing. Put a, like a coat rack here.
That usually goes on your door. Did you modify it?
No.
Oh, it.
Just hung it here.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
And this stuff is like this stuff you put. I think it's from an auto store or something.
Oh, it's got a little bit of texture
it's like
to
a
it.
metal shape to it, so you can stick it on things. You can cut it, and so
Nice.
I just, pad things with that. And the girl's got to have her shoes. So
Yes, I have
have
Yeah, nice.
do my shoe rack there, and this was just a piece that I had picked up at like a restore, and then I painted it and distressed it a little bit, and so that just holds basic junk stuff. And I was talking to you earlier about because I have enough solar that I always have enough power, so I have an induction hot plate
Nice.
that I can use for cooking, as well as I have one of the butane campfire cooktops that I use a lot.
So where do you keep food at? You have the cooler?
Yeah, so my food goes up here and in the cooler, and then whatever I can stuff in here.
Okay.
And this, I just recently got the sink put in. So I had spent my first almost full year without a sink, thinking I'll be fine without a sink, and I was fine without a sink, but it's really nice to have a sink.
Yes, yes.
So I went to this Home Depot in Yuma, and I was talking to a guy that worked there and telling him what I wanted to do, and so we were looking at stuff, and he looks at me and goes, "If you decide you want some help," and he gave me his card, and because he used to be a contractor.
Oh.
And 2 hours later, I called him and said, yeah, I would like your help.
Yes, please.
So he kindly put it in with no charge. And it was a serious job because this top is kind of weird.
Oh, it's metal.
Yeah, it's like
with wood underneath.
It's not stainless steel. And the wood isn't solid all the way through it. So the cutting was weird. And it was really challenging. He spent probably three or 4 hours. And then we went to dinner and went dancing.
Nice.
I owed him a night out, right?
Turn it into a date.
So it was, and it was fun, and it was super nice of him. But it's lovely to have a sink, and so then that just drains down into this receptacle.
Okay.
And that I painted black, and then left a clear strip, so that you can see how full it gets.
Oh, nice.
And then I can just pull this out. It's got this little piece here that you just pull up, and then that releases that, and I can pull it out and go dump it and stick it right back in.
Nice.
So that works out really well.
And so how do you pump water into it?
So I just take it here. So like, if I'm going to fill up a pan, of course, I can just do that. I use this a lot if I'm going to rinse something out. I also use I can heat water and make a little thing of soapy water if I need to. I use this and then like a spray bottle. So these are sort of my essentials. And I can just spray spoons. I can spray a little bit of that, and I can wipe it off with paper towel.
Yeah.
You can get your stuff clean and use a really small amount of water. So
Okay.
I just do it from here to there.
Okay.
So
that's really simple
it
because
works out pretty good.
it's the whole process of getting a pump and everything for the faucet is so much. So that's a very simple solution, and you have the sink part.
Exactly. And that's really the critical part. You can always bring water to a sink,
Yes.
And I thought if I had a pump, I haven't had one, so I can't really comment on it. But even if I had one here, I'd have to pump and then do stuff. So how's that any different than this?
Yes.
And then I actually have my hands free, and I can control how much water I use, as opposed to a pump's just going to pump out a certain amount. So I thought, well, I'll try this for a while and see how that goes. And so far, so good.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And this is like a grip countertop?
Yeah, this is it's for drawer. It's a drawer liner.
Okay.
And then I just wrapped I wrapped it and put it here with double backing carpet tape.
Okay.
Or whatever.
So that when you put your stove on there, it doesn't move around.
Yeah, it gives a little bit of stability, and I just kind of thought it looked nice. And this sink didn't go real flush because it's not really a sink.
Oh.
It's one of those salad bowls.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And then this has such different layers of support that it was all like just a little bit off. And I thought, well, I'll just make it look better by filling in that little gap a bit with this.
Oh, nice.
And so that just kind of, I thought, made it look a little cleaner, a little nicer. Yeah, and these ProMasters have a lot of storage up there, so that's always handy.
Yeah,
What
places
else?
to shove things.
Yeah, so I'll show you my
Oh, yeah.
screen door.
How does this work?
Okay, so this, I was trying to figure out how to make a screen door for my van, and so I was in a Lowe's, I think it was, up in Albuquerque, New Mexico, and I had all the screen door stuff, and I was like, oh, I don't know how I'm gonna make this happen. And this was a curtain that was hanging in their curtain aisle, and it had the great big tabs for the curtain rods to go through. So I happened to be visiting a friend, so she had a sewing machine, which was yay.
Nice.
So I could modify it. So I took off all those tabs and
Made pockets for your magnets.
I made little pockets for all the neodymium magnets. So I made a whole bunch of those, and I took a channel, like you can see that this has a channel in it.
Yeah.
And that was after I took off the top tabs. This still had a channel that I modified a little bit to fit the curve. And then I took the screen door piping that they use to set a screen inside of the door, and I just fed it through there, and that happened to fit inside my rubber channel here.
Oh.
So I put that all along, and it goes all the way down to the bottom. And then with these,
Wow.
I could just snap these babies in place.
That's a great
the way
idea.
Yeah, it worked out pretty good. I mean,
And this is a whole big area that you get to have airflow now.
right,
It's huge.
right. And if I open up the back doors, it's amazing the air that just can go through
Yeah.
the vehicle when you just get two openings.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll show you my other cool thing I did.
Yes.
Switch me places.
Okay.
All right. So often you want your windows open too, and I mean when we're down here in the hot Southwest, even if you go into the store, you don't want to close up your van, but you don't want any bugs or flies coming in every time. So I made these
Oh.
magnetic window screens.
Oh.
So I
that's
just did a
neat.
pattern and made them fit, and then I put glued on magnetic strip,
Uh-huh.
and then I find that I leave them on all the time when I'm driving. I just kind of never take them off anymore.
Nice.
And then can always roll down my windows.
And you can see through them,
And
like
you
you
can
can see your rear view.
Sometimes I have to pop open the door to just get them to.
Nice.
Yeah, so those worked out really good. I know there's different kinds that you can buy, but these were inexpensive to make.
Yeah, and they fit. You made them fit
They
exactly.
And I don't have to go outside to put them on. A lot of the ones that they make, you either have to open up the door and put over your whole thing. It's like a pillowcase type one, or they're on the outside and you have to get out of the car to put them on, so you can't drive with them on.
Yeah.
Where these, like I said, I can just leave them on 24/7, and I do.
Nice.
So yeah,
That's a good idea. Ugh. So many good ideas. I'm gonna have to look into
It's
these.
so fun. You see all these vans, and you're just always getting some great ideas. Yeah. So.
Well, is there any other neat things that you've gotten here? Do you want to talk about your toilet situation?
Sure.
Okay.
So I'm just doing the simple method, which is the luggable loos with the paint jugs. And then what I do is I have my pea jar. I got that for $1, and it's got a nice little handle thing at the top. And then what I do for serious business when you're not someplace else is I have this bucket in here, and this I just prepare a bunch of poop bags,
Yep.
you kitty litter or whatever it is you're going to use, corn cob crumbs, and I usually have 5 or 6 of those bags just pre-prepared that I keep in there. And this also provides you know, bringing my pea jar up to a level that is just perfect for using.
Yeah.
So that works
So
out.
it's use it all in one.
Yep, works out really, really well. And I know when you start this lifestyle, you think, I'm gonna pee in a bucket, or
Yeah.
you know, do this stuff, and pretty soon it's like just no big deal.
No.
Just no big deal. It's very simple. I don't have tanks I have to dump.
Mm-mm.
You know, yeah, I'm real happy with
Yeah.
that whole thing. So.
I don't mind peeing in a jug and dumping it by a bush.
Right?
It's just
I mean,
happens.
Animals for thousands and billions of years have been peeing in the desert.
Yes.
So I think that it's okay if we do that too.
I think so. Yeah. I think so too. You know, don't need to be afraid to go to the bathroom.
Right. It's part of being alive. It's part of being human. So let's just all get comfortable.
Yeah, let's be animals too.
Yeah. So.
Okay, well, thank you so much, Radar. This
Yes.
was great.
Yes, thank you.
And I'll see you around.
Yes, you will.